The Open Window is a short story written in 1914 by Saki, the pen name of British author Hector Munro, who is considered one of the great masters of the English short story. The work is known for its weird irony, refined humor, which the author used to portray of the society of his time. To begin, Hector Munro was a writer and playwright born on November 18, 1887 in British Burma, and he died France on November 14, 1916. At the age 45, during First World War. Throughout his career, he stood out for his sharp and clever storytelling style. The Open Window centers on the visit that Mr. Nuttall pays to Mr. Stapleton in search of the peaceful and relaxing place that could as a cure of his nervous condition. This is a story clear example of how literature can take us to incredible worlds, whether real or imagined, and how those worlds it can captive us. At the same time, it shows overwhelming thoughts harm him. Our group made up of Evelina Rojave, Kelly Steele, and myself, Juan Gonzalez. In this video, we will analyze linguistic vocabulary and literacy device used in Saki's The Open Window.
The story The Open Window used a formal and literary vocabulary typical of early 20th century English. There are no slang expressions or modern verbs, but we can find some archaisms and polite phrases that reflect the upper class manners of the time. For example, my aunt will be down presently used presently to mean soon. And put it with me is a polite, slightly playful expression. The language is standard British English with no regionalism or jargon. Peaceful words like restful country spot and self-possessed young lady suggest a quiet setting, while words darkness like tragedy, horror suggest and introduce suspense. This contrast makes the story both ironic and funny, since the reader expects a tragic ghost story but discovers the clever lie. The vocabulary also helps define the characters. For example, Vera sounds more natural and imaginative. Franton Nuttall is more formally and nervously, and Mr. Septon uses cheerful domestic words like tea and muddy carpet. So, in the end, this change in tone from polite to funny to scary show how Saki's choice of words creates irony and leads in a clever, unexpected ending.
So the Open Window story uses a precise syntactic and grammatical choice to enhance its wit, irony, and his narrative twist. Syntactic future. So the syntactic future are simple and compound sentences that is often used in a simple and compound sentence in a simple and compound way. So here we have direct and indirect speech. The uses of the indirect and the direct speech is to distinguish between the narrators and the storytelling voice. So the other one is the parenthetical and the aside uses. So this help the authors to build or to create jokes to make it more funny. We also have the narrative framing that is the story is structured with a frame narrative, and this also help gives a twist ending. We are going to talk about the grammatical features or the grammatical style. So we have the past tense. The story talks about things that already happened. We also have third person view. We see what Frampton Little thinks but not Vera. So next are the words that show possibility, like words like might and would. This help the story to be more believable. So now let's look at the pragmatic features in the open window story. So first we have the tricking with words. Vera tells a fake story that sounds real. She also used a polite language and a calm language so that the person could believe her. So the next one is implied meaning. So in the part that Vera was explaining the man, telling the man the story, she never said it was a ghost. She left the man to guess if the man was dead or he wasn't dead. Now we're going with the polite talk. Everyone in the story talks in a formally and polite way. So we have the other one, the context matter. So in this case, we can see that the open window is a symbol, and that is used by Vera to make it sound real, to make her story sound real. So the next is a different intention that are found in the story. Vera always want to play a trick, and Frampton always want to be relaxed. And in this case, we can see that there is a different goal between the two of them, and this make a funny ending of the story. The last one is the power of the speaker. So Vera is a kid, is a child who wants to control the whole situation, and she also wants to lead the story and fool the adult.
Saki's stylish voice in the open window is full of irony, humor, and sarcasm, along with colloquial language that turns ordinary events into something extraordinary. He narrates his criticism and perception of the story's event with a light tone and naturalness, teaching you to find something wonderful in simplicity. An example of this can be seen in expression like Bertie, why do you bone? Or when the nice says that Mr. Nuttall must have left after saying the dog as it remained him of a frightening experience he had before, hence the reason for his nervous condition. This shows a different way of expressing the story's messages, an underlying critique. Moreover, the dialogues, cause, and tone used by the characters give the story a more you light, special touch, allowing readers to experience the same feelings and Mr. Nuttall during that conversation. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Saki's micro stories, where words that flight and show in the minds of readers, bringing back life and moments from the past.